Welcome, everyone. We are so pleased to have you all join us today as we celebrate the official launch of Carleton's new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, or EDI, Action Plan. My name is Michael Charles, and I am Carleton's Assistant Vice President and University Advisor, Equity and Inclusive Communities, and it is my honor to act as your event MC today. As we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Anishinaabe people on whose unceded, unsurrendered territory Carleton University is located. And this acknowledgement compels us to reflect on what it means to reconcile with Canada's Indigenous peoples, as well as to contemplate the relationship between concepts of reconciliation and EDI. Indeed, we celebrate this launch with the Indigenous people of this land as our plan seeks to make the university stronger and better for all. Getting to this day was not a foregone conclusion. We started the work in January of 2020, and along the way we were challenged by pandemic disruptions and dislocations and the summer spotlight of racial reckoning. But we were determined as a community, and only by humility and a sense of purpose have we arrived at this important moment, a moment to take stock, prepare, and look to a promising future. We have a compact 30-minute program in store for you today. There are so many people from across the university and beyond who have agreed to contribute. But first, I'm pleased to introduce Carleton's President and Vice Chancellor, Benoit Antoine Bacon, to offer opening remarks. Over to you, Benoit.
Thanks so much, Michael. Welcome, everybody. Bonjour, tout le monde. J'espère que ça va bien. Thanks so much, everybody, for being with us today. I think almost 400 people already tuning in. I hope everybody is safe and well under what continues to be challenging circumstances. The sun is shining today, so please make sure you enjoy it. And we're also starting to see the light at the end of the pandemic tunnel. This too will pass. It's been a really difficult year with COVID-19, no question. I'd add that it's also been a particularly terrible year for race-based injustice and atrocities. We're all thinking of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Joyce Echaquan, and there's so many others around the world and right here in Ottawa. And like you, I was appalled by the March 16th massacre of 8 people, including 6 Asian American women in Atlanta, Georgia. These killings are but one incident in a surge of anti-Asian violence and harassment around the world that has deep historical roots. The Carleton community stands in sadness and solidarity with all the members of the Asian diaspora in our community and beyond. On a much brighter note, today we celebrate the launch of Carleton's first EDI Action Plan. We're taking an important step to reaffirm, to expand our commitment to all dimensions of human rights at Carleton and in broader society, and to build on our deep values of equity and of inclusion. We can all take pride in our new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Action Plan. Like Michael said, it's been a long time coming. This is a really important milestone for all of us as we continue to work together to shape the future of an inclusive Carleton where everyone can fully belong and fully contribute. It's a bold plan, a comprehensive plan that reflects conversation and dialogue from across the Carleton community and beyond. It advances, it operationalizes the work of our new and exciting strategic integrated plan, which clearly identifies EDI as essential to our core mission and to our continued success as a university. Our action plan also connects and complements other very important plans. Kinamagwin, the coordinated accessibility strategy, and our international strategic plan. So today represents a great amount of work and collaboration that we've all dedicated to this process. But of course, while the plan is a critical part of the work, it's not by any means the final outcomes. Plans like this are more a beginning than an end, and the hard work of implementing the recommendations laid out in the plan has begun, but there's still a lot more work to do. As you can all imagine, meeting our commitments will require resources, accountability, progress assessment, regular reporting, and I call upon everyone, all areas of the university, to develop and implement more specific EDI action plans that reflects your particular context. And I know this work has already begun in many faculties and service units. So thanks everybody for this work, onwards and upwards. I want to end by thanking everyone who contributed to the development of the action plan. Specifically on behalf of Carleton, I want to thank Michael for your leadership throughout this process that's truly been outstanding. The entire Department of Equity and Inclusive Communities and all members of the Equity and Inclusive Communities Advisory Group, on which I'm proud to sit, for the key role that you've played in developing this truly comprehensive, forward-looking and transformative plan. We have a great program ahead of us. Thanks again, everyone, for being here with us. Enjoy the event. Have a wonderful day. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Benoit. It is now my pleasure to introduce all of you to several wonderful speakers who will share their impressions of the plan and will help us to celebrate some of the early inspired actions and changes taking place across the campus. Leading us in a good way, I'm pleased to introduce Gahande Horn-Miller, Professor and Assistant Vice President, Indigenous Initiatives.
Nyalgoa, and thank you, Michael. We all recognize that opportunities for innovative learning are missed when perspectives that expand or disrupt conventional understandings are left out or marginalized. The experiences, backgrounds, and ways of being of Carleton students are diverse, and they matter. Together, we need to implement more ways to be more welcoming and inclusive through our curricular and pedagogical choices, so that the value of EDI and Indigenous ways of knowing pervade the student experience. While additional steps must be taken, Carleton is already leading through the introduction and integration of the collaborative Indigenous learning bundles. Other areas of campus are working on expanding inclusive teaching practices through new academic programs, such as the new minor in critical race studies, which is open to all students, the announcement of a future full degree program, and the new Women in Engineering and Information Technology program, which will foster relationship building, mentorship, and funding to support gender-related EDI goals. Congratulations on these early achievements. I'll now turn it over to Commerce student, Feruz Tesfay.
Thank you, Professor Horn-Miller. EDI-informed research stretches the boundaries of knowledge and opens new pathways to discovery regardless of the field of inquiry. Carleton's commitment to excellence demands supporting, funding, and disseminating that research. A new Student Research Award at Carleton does precisely that. Earlier this month, the university launched the Student EDI Research Award in direct response to the related recommendation in the EDI Action Plan. But instead of meeting our minimum commitment of offering up to 2 awards, Carleton exceeded this goal by offering up to 6. These awards will offer $10,000 to undergraduate students who have completed their second year and $15,000 to graduate students to participate in EDI-related research with a faculty supervisor this summer. Students from all faculties are eligible. The deadline for proposal is April 9th. In the fall, students will present summaries of their findings in another Carleton celebration. We look forward to learning more about the innovative research that this award will make possible. This is just one step of the several under the plan towards fulfilling Carleton's commitment to supporting, funding, and disseminating excellence in research. More information about the Student EDI Research Award can be found on the Provost website at carleton.ca/provost. As the founder of Sports Social Impact Club, I want to highlight that we value diversity and inclusion. We work together with the community to make a difference now rather than later. You can learn more about our future projects at our team at ssiconline.ca. Thank you, Ravens. I will now turn it over to Case Thomas, who studied architecture at Carleton and is the founder of the social health platform tumsdilu.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Feruz, and hi everyone. It's my pleasure to speak today about efforts to strengthen Carleton's culture. It's within our reach to make sure that everyone feels a sense of belonging at Carleton and can immerse themselves fully in the pursuit of higher education. This means the ability to bring your full self to the problem you're trying to solve, the course you're working to pass, the company you're trying to build, without being stifled by ableism, misogyny, racism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, and other forms of marginalization. Each year, aspiring entrepreneurs, architects, journalists, and computer scientists, among many other dreamers from other walks of life, come to Carleton both physically and virtually to build their dreams. And as we invest in our future, we will inevitably face the personal, emotional, and spiritual challenges that come with growth. The EDI Action Plan sends us a clear message that through a renewed and long-term commitment to human rights, Carleton is here to support you through these challenges and ensure that you can reach your full potential by embracing your individual distinctiveness. From a strategic perspective, this will empower Carleton students to explore how their experiences have shaped who they are and to discover that they do not limit where we can go. When our inner knowledge is respected and valued, we can go out into the world to write policies, design technologies, and pursue careers that reflect who we are and what we believe is possible. Thank you. And I will now turn it over to Rebecca Andre, a fourth-year applied linguistics and discourse studies student with a minor in disability studies.
Thank you, Quace. Hi, everyone. I'm pleased to be here with you today to talk about how this plan impacts student supports. I have the pleasure of working with the Research, Education, Accessibility, and Design, or READ initiative. I was also really lucky to have the opportunity to work as a student representative on the Coordinated Accessibility Strategy Steering Committee. The student supports for a diverse student body are a critical component of the EDI Action Plan. This plan acknowledges that we need to ensure student supports are designed and delivered in ways that assume varied rather than generic student experiences, because we all know that no one's journey is the same. Carleton is already taking steps on this and has created a new Diversity, Equity, and Communities Program Coordinator position in the Student Experience Office, and has also hired a racialized counselor in health and counseling services to prioritize and support the mental health needs of racialized students. On behalf of Carleton students, I thank Carleton for pledging to further integrate equity, diversity, and inclusion throughout its student services and enrollment operations. I'll now pass it over to Professor Rick Colbourne. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Rebecca. My name is Rick Colbourne, and I'm a member of the Mattawa North Bay Algonquin First Nation. I'm also the Assistant Dean of Equity and Inclusive Communities in the Sprott School of Business. As a researcher, my focus is on Indigenous economic development, entrepreneurship, and socioeconomic well-being. I'm encouraged by the part of this action plan that focuses on the collection of disaggregated demographic data to better understand the representation, the lived experiences, and the circumstances of employees and students. This is really needed to inform the design of equitable and inclusive educational services and workplaces. The plan also has a focus on integrating EDI elements throughout leadership development, as well as in recruitment, retention, appointment, and promotion processes for both academic and non-academic employees. These are transformational commitments, but they're going to require coordinated, dedicated efforts across many areas of the university. And I'm pleased to see related planning and implementation for these specific initiatives are already underway. The Campus Safety Services and EIC have developed a local action plan and have just completed an employment systems and cultural review. They've also successfully launched the Engagement and Inclusion Officer Program with the goal of increasing mutual respect and trust between community members and officers. Along with my colleagues, I'm looking forward to supporting this work to expand our common capability to be a community of communities where all can flourish and thrive. I'm now pleased to introduce Mutoni Kariuki, a graduate of Carleton's Master of Philanthropy and Nonprofit Leadership Program and a member of the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective.
Thank you, Professor Colbourne. I'm a proud graduate of Carleton's Masters of Philanthropy and Nonprofit Leadership Program, the only graduate program in nonprofit leadership in Canada. I'm glad to be here with you all today to celebrate the EDI Action Plan. I'm pleased to see that the plan includes a perspective that extends beyond the campus borders and considers how the university can reach out to the public, nonprofit, and private sector partners to support change, to learn, and to eliminate and dismantle structural underrepresentation. There is strength in purposeful partnership, and our university can be proud of the relationships it builds and maintains. On the most recent Giving Tuesday fundraising campaign, Carleton's partners showed immense support for EDI. And thanks to the generous support of our alumni, our board members, our faculty, staff, and students, the university was able to establish a number of scholarships for Indigenous, Black, and racialized students. I'm a proud member of the Black Canadian Fundraisers Collective, a group made up of 50 Black professional fundraisers. We chose to partner with Carleton to establish an award that would support Black fundraisers through the Masters of Philanthropy and Nonprofit Leadership Program. And now I'm pleased to introduce you to another graduate, Yusra Osman, who holds a bachelor and a master's degree in social work, and now serves as the City of Ottawa's first anti-racism specialist.
Thank you, Muthoni. It was my pleasure to serve on the Equity and Inclusive Communities Advisory Group that helps steward the EDI Action Plan. Part of our work was to examine systemic successes, opportunities, and gaps in order to map pathways to stronger EDI outcomes. I'm so pleased to see that this work, along with valuable input from the Carleton community, has resulted in an innovative and ambitious plan that can be implemented in each corner of the university. We all have a role in advancing this important EDI work, and I see so many areas of alignment between the work of Carleton and the City of Ottawa, including a commitment to localized engagement and building on existing EDI capacities, increasing disaggregated demographic data and EDI research knowledge, as well as developing innovative strategies to increase employment equity. We look forward to building on all of these areas and more with Carleton. I'd now like to introduce Yaprak Baltacioğlu, Carleton's Chancellor, to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello, Ravens. My name is Yaprak Baltacioğlu, and I'm your Chancellor. Today, it's my pleasure to celebrate the new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Action Plan. This plan is built on the values that are close to Carleton's collective heart: community, equity, diversity, and inclusivity. This is an ambitious plan for action, and it will take leadership from across the university to work together to make meaningful change. And each and every one of us have to make this change happen, from our faculty to our frontline leaders, to our senior administrators, to our board. The new plan outlines key recommendations for senior administrators and the Board of Governors to actively model best practices and make themselves accountable. This will build on the first ever Carleton University Board EDI statement, which was approved in 2019. This statement expresses the board's commitment to balanced, diverse, and inclusive practices that will help advance the university's mission. That commitment was underscored by the board's recent adoption of the Government of Canada's 50 by 30 challenge to reach gender parity and reduce underrepresentation at governance and senior management levels. As this strategy was developed, voices from every part of Carleton were heard. We should all be proud of this milestone today that marks Carleton's renewed commitment to EDI. When we all work together to further integrate EDI into our work and mission, it will go a long way in contributing to the continued success of our university. The new EDI Action Plan empowers us all to take responsibility for increasing our commitment to Carleton's values of community, equity, diversity, and inclusion. These efforts will lead to exciting change, and I can't wait to see the progress we can make together. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Baltacioğlu, and to all the speakers of today's event. Before concluding, I want to take a brief moment to highlight the creation of a new collaboration embodying a number of the EDI areas identified in today's event. The BIPOC Caucus is a cross-campus group of racialized and Indigenous faculty members funded by the Office of the Vice President, Research and International, to offer community and support to BIPOC faculty in pursuit of research productivity, external grant acquisitions, short and longer term knowledge production and mobilization projects, and intra and inter-university partnerships. We look forward to the future achievements of the caucus. There are so many more early wins that we could have featured today, but time simply would not permit. Needless to say, Carleton is off to a strong start towards the full implementation of our EDI Action Plan. So thank you to everyone for their sustained energy and engagement. Let's keep it going. And I extend my thanks to, of course, my colleagues at the Department of Equity and Inclusive Communities and to everyone who contributed to the development of this plan. There are just far too many names to mention, but hopefully in ways both symbolic and personal, I have found space over the past months to express my profound gratitude to all for their selfless dedication, their questions, hard questions sometimes, their concerns, their feedback and support as we have iterated our way to the final document in which we can all be proud. Now, since the text of this plan was approved in December of last year, we have been hard at work at adding design and final treatments to the document. The result is 2 documents, a full-length version and a magazine companion, both striking and impactful, that we can all reference in our efforts to uphold the values of EDI in our work. So following this morning's event, you will all receive links in your inboxes to these beautified materials. The action plan was not developed to sit on a shelf, but rather to be read until worn from use. It was not a series of general expectations. It is a pledge to execute specific tasks. It was not created for the community, but by the community and adaptable to meet evolving area needs. As we follow our action plan, the next 5 years at Carleton University have the potential to be the most exciting and dynamic yet. And I look forward to learning and working and celebrating with all of you again. Have a great day, and thank you again so much for joining us.